Hey guys, you're watching Grooves and Motivation Live with me, Jermaine Morgan. And today we're going to be talking about the dream that you have. So make sure you stay tuned. All right, I'll be right back. All right, let's jump right into this thing today. I'm glad to be here today, and I hope you are too. So, yeah, I just want to ask a question. Did your dream die? Of course, we're gonna dive into a groove, but before that, as usual, let me know where you guys are watching from. So I had something completely different that I was planning on playing today, and now I feel like going a whole different direction. Let me turn this mic up a bit. There we go. So yeah, I had a completely different thing I was gonna be doing, and maybe I will get to that. But I had this little groove in my head that I was gonna play around with. So again, y'all let me know where you're watching, where you're watching from. I love seeing that. Love seeing it in the chat where you guys are watching from. So while y'all are coming in, let me play around with this idea. Yeah, so this is on off the cuff right here, cause I had something in my head and I want to play around with it with the loop pedal. It literally just came to me like 5 minutes ago. So I gotta do that again. Okay, we got the skeleton. We're gonna add to it. Hopefully y'all can hear that all right. M1 bass. Mike watching from London. What's up, Mike? We're gonna add some bass and then we'll come back. Y'all forgive me, I'm gonna be moving around a lot with this loop pedal. There we go. Let me add a little snare drum to it. It's a little muddy for me. What's up, Marcus? Who else is watching? Y'all quiet today. Sorry, guys. I wanted to play around with this looper today. I heard something. Y'all bear with me while I build. Okay, I got you, Christopher. Let's see if we can add another guitar in there. that. Appreciate that, Marcus. Iowa is in the building. Roy City, Texas is in the building. Puerto Rico is in the building. Who else we got? Jake. What's up, Trey? Something a little out of tune. Y'all liking it all right? No, I'm normally playing the bass. Carl, what's up, man? Sean, I see you. Keep it jamming, bro. I'm liking the feel. Makes me wish I was at home with my bass right now. Yes, sir. What's going on, mama? Damon says, where's the bass? It's over in the corner. See what that sound like. Too much stuff happening. Hoodie in the way. Bring out the big strings. All right. So, P. Santa Boogie says, does the idea come from playing, or is it just, let me cut this down a bit. He said, or is it just in your head and then you start playing and figure it out? Yeah, it's pretty much that. It's enough. The thing about it is it's enough information there. Like when you're, I guess you kind of build your vocabulary. I seen some comments. Justin said something along the lines of, this might be obvious, but your playing, improvising, and phrasing got 10 times better when you picked up the bass. That's because I play the bass more consistently. I do a lot of that stuff. With guitar, I kind of don't play as often as I did on guitar, other than recording. That's pretty much kind of, so my fluidity, what you're referring to, is there a lot more on bass. You can hear it a lot more on bass than you do guitar, because I work out obviously a lot more on bass because that's what I play out a lot. But if I sit and work and get warmed up on guitar, it's about close to the same. But it's not, bass is obviously where I've spent the most time in the last decade and a half. So the guitar has been like pushed to the back. But yeah, my guitar was like way over my bass, and it depends on what I'm playing. If I sit and just kind of work through it, I can get it at. So yeah, Justin, I got what you're saying, man. But that's really the culprit there. So yeah, Justin. Oh, Carl says that, Justin, you're right, or maybe I just love that bass 10 times more. So I know some of y'all are just kind of, what do you call it? You're partial to the bass, obviously, and I got you. I ain't mad at it. All love. So yeah, I just had this idea, that groove right before I got on, like 5-10 minutes before I got on here. I heard that in my head. Oh, let me play around with that just a little bit more. But yeah, so glad y'all are here, man. Glad y'all are here. Glad y'all are listening. And we're gonna talk about something really cool today. I was gonna play around. It's a whole different vibe, but I was gonna play around with something. I was playing around with this congregational song thing I was playing around with earlier, but I don't know. It ain't the moment for it. Now I might come back later and play it a little bit. If y'all are still around, I might come back and play it a little later. But I wanted to kind of put something on y'all's mind today with the title, as you've seen, Face the Giant or Die with the Dream. I was reading somewhere in my devotional the other day, and I was reading a very familiar story for my Bible readers out there. It was a very familiar story, like in Numbers 13 and in Joshua 14, where it's talking about, the children of Israel had sent over 12. They have sent over 12 spies to go and spy out the land that they were supposed to be taking over, Jericho, that whole thing. And it was this idea that, of course, many of you guys might know this story, but if you don't, so children of Israel, they had appointed 12 people to go and spy out the land. One person represented each tribe. And so they were supposed to go in and spy out the land and to check it out, to see how they could go in and attack and that whole thing. But what ended up happening is when they went and checked out this particular, the promised land, Canaan land or whatever. And I'm not a Bible scholar, by the way, but it's just a story that, that's a pretty familiar story. But anyway, so as they were checking it out, they got scared. For lack of better words, 10 of them got scared. And so they brought back an evil report because it's like, man, the land over there devours its people. But, ain't no but. It's like the land over there devours its people, and there are giants. It's like we seen the son of Anak, and so what that's generally referring to is talking about giants. They seen giants in the land. So anyway, they got scared. They got really, really terrified. But those 10 gave a bad report. But Caleb, on the other hand, he was like, "Yo, we can take them." So I'm paraphrasing in my own words, but that's Caleb was like, "Yo, we can take them," and it's like. Of course, some of you know, and many of you might know, and some of you might not know, but those 10 and their whole generation ended up not getting to go into the promise because they saw, like Damon Williams said, they saw a land of giants. What's up, Douglas? I see you, man. Christopher, You said, I don't see the link. Can you remind us what looper you are using? Oh, yeah, I'm using a Jamman Stereo Digitech. Jamman Stereo. That's what I'm looping with. So if y'all want to check that out, I don't know if I had that in my stuff as well, but in my links below. But yeah, that's what I'm using, Jamman Stereo. I thought I had it in there, but anyway, so back to the story. So they didn't get to go into the promised land. So it's like my thought from that, not going too deep into the story, but my thought from that was like, you got to the place. Now, you didn't see all of these miraculous events happening. You've seen God coming with you with the cloud and with the fire in the sky and all this different stuff. He's leading you, and y'all don't walk through a doggone Red Sea. Now you get here, and you've already fought some giants prior to this battle right here. But for some reason, you get to this place, and allow me to have some creative liberty here. I ain't trying to rewrite the Bible, but just in my own thinking, just kind of making it modern to what a lot of us deal with. I was talking to my wife about it, and I was like, you know what? I wonder how many people have been just like those 10 spies who went to the door of the promise, and because it was something standing there bigger than them, like a giant, it was a giant, whether there was a giant of frustration, a giant of depression, whatever you want to name that giant, was standing at that door right in front of their promise. You finally do all of this work. Let's make it base related. You do all of this work, practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing. Now you finally get this big opportunity to play on this major gig. But the only problem is you got to learn like 40 songs and you got 3 days to do it. That's a giant. So this is a major, bigger than life opportunity. And it's like you're dealing with what you feel like your lack of ability to learn and retain that many songs in this short period of time. But it's a huge opportunity that will probably change everything for you. And it's like, it's easy to say, oh man, I would learn them songs with no problem. Yeah, you might be the person that can do that. But if a person has a struggle with remembering and retaining music or just learning songs in general, then this is going to be a big challenge for them. So you name that giant, whatever that giant is for you. And I also thought about the fact, how many people, because I seen when you read in Deuteronomy 1, I want to say, well, Moses is recapping all the stuff that, they've went through and all this kind of stuff. He talked about them picking their own, you pick your own people to kind of handle your issues amongst yourselves. Y'all pick out some good leaders. And if it's something that's too big for your leaders, bring it to me and I'll handle it. I'll take care of it. But amongst yourselves, y'all work out these problems between you and your aliens, like the people who are not part of us, but you have dealings with these people. So whoever needs to counsel and work through or judge these situations, y'all work that stuff out amongst yourself in a sense, right? So the point I'm saying with that, they had other people who weren't from the camp. And so who's to say these other people didn't tell them stories about, man, them jokers over there in Canaan, or, the sons of Anak over there, man, they tore somebody's head off the other day, man. They some bad boys. Y'all don't want to fool with them. So who's to say, I'm not saying that did happen or that was the case, but who's to say it wasn't? You know what I'm saying? You have these people who are outside of the camp who are not hearing the same thing that you're hearing, who haven't got the same vision that you have. They haven't been given the same clarity that you have about the thing that you're supposed to do. And all they can see is failure. All they can see is a trail of failure where other people before you have failed in that same thing, who tried to go, well, man, I'm going to make it country. Nadine, them, they tried to go over there and fight, and then their whole family got wiped out. And so you got those type of people talking in your ear. Now, when you finally see the threat that other people have been warning you about, now you're scared. Now you're unable to go in and face that giant. So now your dream is sitting here and you have to make a decision. Either I'm going to die with this dream, or either I'm going to go up here and I'm going to face this giant. And so a lot of people get caught up in the whole thing of just what stuff appears to be, rather than seeing the potential of what it could be. There's a quote I love by Dr. Miles Monroe. I wrote this down. He says, the greatest gift, let me find it. The greatest gift that God ever gave man was not the gift of sight, but the gift of vision. He says, sight is a function of the eyes, but vision is a function of the heart. You were not created to live by your eyes, because your eyes only, this is the part I'm talking about, your eyes only show you what is, but vision shows you what could be. That probably went over y'all head, right? So it's like your eyes only show you what is. When those children of Israel got to that land, all they saw was the giants there. They couldn't see the promise anymore. They couldn't see the dream anymore, because the obstacle, the giants were too big as far as they were concerned. The thing that they were facing was too big. And so some of y'all that are trying to be entrepreneurs, or they're trying to do whatever you're trying to do, it's like you're facing this giant in some area. Like it's right there in your face. You didn't work hard to get to this point. And now you finally get to this thing. You get to the door, the window of opportunity, and you just you just bag down. You allow somebody to talk you out of it. You allow family members. And the thing about it, most of the time it can be people who are close to you, because obviously a lot of times it's hard to pay attention to people who you don't know. He's like, y'all ain't got no stock. You don't have no stock over here. But it's like, it's hard to pay attention to those people when you don't know them. They don't know you. So I hear you saying, man, you need to quit. You need to get, like, bro, I don't know you. I'm not going to listen to you. But when it's somebody you care about, when it's somebody you love, and when it's somebody you're counting on to believe in what you can see with you, and they don't, it hit different. Right? And that for you becomes a giant. It can be a giant of tradition. It can be a giant of something that you've been holding on to. My family's always done it this way. My daddy done it this way. Granddaddy done it this way. Great granddaddy done it this way. Big mama done it this way. Everybody done it this way. So you want to stick to that standard of what everybody else has done. Not to say what they done was bad, but it don't necessarily go with your dream. It don't necessarily go with your vision. So now you're stuck with, either I'm going to go against the grain and do something that seems like a giant in everybody's eyes, but I know it's possible. Having that Caleb mentality, that I know it's possible, even if it's taking too long. There's something, I love this verse right here. There's a verse I want to say in Joshua 14, and it was Caleb said, I just want to read it to y'all just so I can give it to you in context instead of me trying to paraphrase it. Caleb said, now behold, the Lord has let me live, just as he spoke, these 45 years from the time that the Lord spoke this word to Moses, when Israel walked in the wilderness. And now behold, I am 85 years old. I am still as vigorous. What he said, let me rephrase it. He said, I am still as strong today as I was in the day of Moses, as my strength was then, so my strength is now for war and for going out and for coming in. And then he was talking about, now give me this hill country for which the Lord spoke to me on that day. For you heard on that day that Anakim were there, and with fortified cities. Perhaps the Lord will be with me, and I will drive them out as the Lord has spoken. So it's like, the reason why I wanted to read that, it's like 45 years, I'm 40. 45 years later, I think the original, the King James Version, not the original, but the King James Version said he's just as vigorous as he was when he was 45 years younger, right? He's 85 now, and he's like, yo, you remember that land we was talking about? I want to go on ahead and take it. Perhaps the Lord will give it to me. You remember he said it, right? So perhaps he'll be with me this time. So I'm ready to go over there and fight, just like I was 45 years ago when y'all was scared. So he didn't allow time to kill his dream. And I said that because a lot of us have been so discouraged. And if I'm walking down your street, just throw a thumbs up. A lot of us have been so discouraged because the thing that we believed for, the thing that we were after, we thought it was going to happen a lot sooner. And now it's taking too long. It's dragging out. And we're year by year, day by day, month by month, we're losing our momentum. We're losing our energy for it. It's like we got inertia now, right? We don't have that same momentum that we had when we was going after it with everything, because you heard one no. You heard another no. Heard another no. And then not to mention Big Mama and them talking to you. At the same time you're hearing the no's, you're hearing people who are convincing you that maybe you should just do, and y'all would be straight if you just play it safe. That's what they're saying in a nutshell. Maybe if you just played it safe, you'll be all right. But there's a verse I can't remember what this verse is, but it's something that's always stuck with me. And Mama, I don't know if you remember me saying this years ago when I was like maybe 15, somewhere in there. But the traditions of man make the word of God to null effect. Like you holding on to your tradition, you're basically in essence telling God that, yeah, I don't really believe what you're saying, but I know this to be true because it's worked over and over and over again. So that tradition has made the word that's in your heart and the word that you've read, go and possess the land. Your tradition has made it void, null and void. So it's like whatever you heard is no good to you. The dream that you had is no good to you. The vision that you wrote down is no good to you because your tradition is too strong. Some of y'all need to let go of some stuff that's been like a staple in your family. It served its purpose. Now it's time to let it go. It's over, because the only way you can move into the new, you have to get rid of the old. And the only way that the next generation was able to get into the promised land, the old generation had to die out with their mindsets, because they wouldn't let go of an Egyptian mindset. They wouldn't let go of a mindset that said that they were less than conquerors, when we are told that we are more than conquerors, right? But if you have that old mindset and you won't let it go, like that dream, man, it's going to die. You're going to die with that dream. You're going to be looking at the promise. You're going to be standing at the gate and you're going to die. Because there's a giant that's standing there who's probably more afraid of you. It's a verse in there also that said, when the in Numbers, where it was talking about, they gave the report, and it's like, we saw them, that's the sons of Anak and everything, and we saw them and we became grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we became in their sight. Like, wait a minute, you said we saw them, those giants, and we became, based on what we saw, my mind got to working on me and I became smaller than I actually was. We're humans, but we became grasshoppers in our own sight. So your view of yourself based on the obstacle that you're facing, you started viewing yourself way lower than you actually are. So you mean to tell me you went from human size to grasshopper size based on perception? And so you think because the way you see yourself is low, everybody else see you the same way. Let me bring it down your street. Hey man, you should start that business. Or hey woman, you should start that business. Ain't nobody gonna buy nothing from me. Don't nobody like this, or don't nobody like that. They wouldn't buy that from me. Well, so there you have it. And so you became that in their sight as well. Like, the funny part about that, nowhere have I read where the giants came out to them and say, hey, yo, y'all look like grasshoppers. I never read it. But it says, so we, like, y'all didn't even talk to the giants, but you know what the giants thought about you. You know what they thought about you, and you've never talked to them. So you assume that, I heard this thing years ago, was talking about the 4 agreements. I wonder if I still got that in my phone. I'll share that with y'all. The 4 agreements. I know I shared it years ago on Grooves and Motivation, but that was a long time. The 4 agreements. Let me see if I still got that in my phone. 4 agreements. There it is. All right. So this is called the 4 agreements. So it says, number 1, be impeccable with your word. Keep your word. Number 2, don't take anything personally. All right. Number 3, don't make assumptions. This is the one I'm going to come back to, because this is the whole reason I read this. Number 4, always do your best. So again, those 4 agreements are: number 1, be impeccable with your word. Keep your word. If everything else falls, you keep your word. There's it basically said in the Bible about God and him keeping his word. Like, he's a God. He's not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should have to repent. So it's like he's not gonna not keep his word. But you, on the other hand, me on the other hand, it might be something else. So again, number 2, don't take anything personally. Be careful how you take stuff, because folks could just be simply having a bad day when they come to you. Be careful how you take stuff when people tell you you shouldn't do a certain thing. The tradition, the people that's discouraging you, they mean well, but they're saying it from their own personal experience. And their experience has nothing to do with your faith. And you have to remember that. Don't make assumptions. So where these children of Israel, where they messed up at is they assumed they assumed that they was grasshoppers in the sight of these giants. You don't know how those giants see you. And at the end of the day, it don't matter how anybody else sees you. It doesn't matter, because people don't have the ability to look at you and tell everything that's going to happen in your life. Nobody has the ability to do that but God. So it doesn't matter like how insignificant you think I am. It don't matter. That's irrelevant. Because just think about modern day. Think about the people that we've seen. Some of us as musicians have seen peers who everybody was looking over this cat like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And now he's like all on TV with everybody. You know, I remember years ago, I was playing, trying to be careful how I say this, but I was playing somewhere. We'll say it that way. Years ago, I was playing somewhere, and it's just, I could tell that the value and respect level for me was very low. It's like I was always not as good as this previous person that was playing at this gig. And this was when I was in college. I feel like I was always kind of in competition in their minds with this person. Nothing I did could ever match up to this person, because this was like the golden child who could do no wrong. And here I come in here with my little playing and doing all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, you're not. But if I had hung my hat on those people's opinion of me, I never would have went on to do greater things in my career, not to sit here and list out stuff. But thank God I didn't go with their opinion and how they treated me based on their perception of me, because you can't determine who I'm going to be. You can't see it. You don't have the ability. Maybe people are hopeful that you will do X, Y, and Z, but nobody truly knows. So to sit there and put a lot of stock or a lot of faith in somebody's opinion of you, whether it be good or bad, that's a waste of time, because it really don't matter at the end of the day. Another person's opinion of you is just that, their opinion. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what their opinion of you is. So if you have a dream, and when I say dream, if you have something that won't leave you alone, it won't leave you alone. And it seems like cause sometimes it's like, well, how do I define like what's my thing? What I'm supposed to be doing? What bothers you that seems to not bother anybody else? Like, that's good, that God he wouldn't be displeased about this thing if you decided to do that. What is the thing that bothers you as you read, as you study his word, and something that stands out to you personally? It might not even quote unquote be in the Bible, like in black and white, but it's something that bothers you that doesn't seem to bother anybody else. Like, for instance, I would see these older musicians and more seasoned musicians, so to speak. They would get on Facebook and on social media and dog out young musicians because they didn't know certain things. And I'm like, it would always bother me. And I see a lot of people chiming in the comments, the amen corner, like, yeah, y'all need to know this and y'all need to know that. And it's like, and it came to me, it's like, how they going to know it? Who's going to show them? If majority of y'all's churches are playing this type of music, or majority of the gigs are doing this and everything is moved here, where are they supposed to get this information from? So instead of joining the complaining circle, I said, you know what? I got y'all. I started creating things to help people, like the Congregational Songs course, volume 1 and 2, that I did for bass, that started showing people how to play this stuff, rather than jumping in the amen corner and complaining with everybody else about the fact that, man, these young musicians or these old musicians need to go back and learn. Who they going to learn them from? Who's going to teach it to them? And they're just sitting at home, just like, how many hymns are there in the hymnal? Estimated. If anybody know, please drop it in the comments. But you got a hymnal book that's like this thick, full of songs. And if you didn't grow up in that type of background, you don't even know where to start. Even if you wanted to learn a hymn, if you learn a hymn every day for a year, like, you still don't necessarily know how you guys play. I don't know how y'all would approach it. So it's like this blanket statement people would make and complain rather than being a solution to a problem. So I'm making that scenario to say, I saw that there was a problem and it was bothering me. So I did something about it. I did something about the problem instead of complaining about it. And instead of listening to my peers, like, man, ain't nobody gonna buy nothing like that. Nobody gonna buy this. Ain't nobody gonna, like, I did a shout course for bass. Some of you have taken that shout bump course. But I did this shout course for bass, and my thoughts behind it, even though I see 1,000 shouts on YouTube and all over the internet where people be bumping, I understand that not everybody knows how to do that. Not everybody is fluent in that particular thing. No matter if we see 1,000 or 2 or 10,000 people playing it, there's a lot of people on this planet and everybody doesn't know how to play that. And there are people who have a desire to know, but they're not even in the environment to learn it. That church will probably never shout in 100 years, but they want to know how to do it. So instead of complaining, instead of trying to bash somebody, like, I got you. We're going to create a shout bump course, and I'm going to show you how to play a shout and different variations of that shout. Also found on JermaineMorgan.net. So my point is, sometimes you can be standing at the gate of opportunity or what is your dream. And because there's a giant there, those giants could be your peers telling you that what you're about to do is dumb. I said, I did this live thing not too long ago, but back in November around Thanksgiving, this live training that I did. And one of the things I said on that, and some of you may have saw that if you follow me on social media, you may have saw me post about that. Most of your great ideas, your peers are going to call them stupid or dumb or like, yeah, that's trash. That's corny. Like, that's the one. That's corny right there. Beware of listening to people who tell you stuff is corny when it's something that they didn't think of. Because to them, it might very well be corny. It might be corny to somebody. But if it's an idea that came to you, make something with it. I mean, do something with it. It might be corn. Make popcorn. It might be corny. Do something with that idea that you had. Don't sit there and listen to the influence of other people. Don't sit there and listen to the influence of other people, because you will die at the gate of your dream. Like sitting right there at the door of it. You will sit there and die in the parking lot. Now, you done drove. Imagine this. You do a cross-country trip in your car. Let's say from the tip to the tip. So you're going to go from, let's say, Washington, D.C. You're going to get in your car and drive all the way over to California. Take a road trip all the way to California to go and, let's say, the NAMM show for musicians, right? You're going to leave D.C. and drive, not fly. You're going to drive over there all those hours to drive all the way to the NAMM show and sit out in the parking lot the whole time the show was going on. And you got a badge. And all, like, the whole nine. You got the whole nine. You got the badge. You can play, right? And the chances of you having a really good experience there are really high. The chance of you meeting some people you really want to meet are really high. The chances of you building some great relationships are really high. But instead, you go to the parking deck, pay for your ticket for parking and all this kind of stuff, and sit there in your car for 3-4 days. Now, how much sense does that make? You drive to the promise. You take this long cross-country trip to the promise. And when you finally get there, you sit out in the parking lot in your car because somebody told you when you were pulling in, there's too many people in there. Oh, you know such and such here, man. So I don't know if you was planning on playing, but man, this joker right here. So I wouldn't go in there if I were you. So you sit out in the parking lot. You sit out in the parking lot in your car and waste your time, waste your energy, waste your effort. And now you've wasted your resources because it took money. It took energy. It took time from your life to drive over there, but you sit out in your car. I ain't going to go in, man. It's just too many people in that. You knew that before you left. You knew that. Here's the thing. Maybe you didn't know that there were going to be giants. But you should have known that there was going to be opposition. Just let that be a default. Like, whatever I'm trying to go into, you just go ahead and set your mind on knowing, okay, I'm going to face some opposition. I'm going to face some pushback. because ain't nothing easy. Ain't nobody gonna give anything to me easily. They ain't gonna just hand it to me. So I know I'm gonna face some pushback. I know I'm gonna face some opposition, but it's like, it's gonna be hard, but do it anyway. It's what you signed up for. If you sign up to be a bass player, I mean, you're gonna have to do the work. I remember I had a lesson not too long ago, and I always try to do this in terms of telling musicians how, like, okay, how do I get to that next level? Okay, you need to learn some songs. You need to learn a lot of songs. Well, yeah, I know. I've been working on songs here and there, but I'm working on my scales. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Oh, that's great, but you need to learn some music. You want to play music, you need to learn some music. Yeah, but man, I'm trying to. Okay, all right. Well, let me give you a number. You need to learn 3 to 5 songs a week. Man, I don't know if I'm gonna have time. Well, you're not serious. You don't really want to do this. You really don't want to do this because there's going to be an opposition standing there. It's opposition standing between you and your next level of whatever it is you're trying to get to. There's opposition standing at the door, and it ain't trying to let you in. You got to learn this stuff because what I tell the bass players that I coach and whatever, it's like the proof is in the pudding. Like when you learn these songs, you also get the secrets of these songs. That's if you learn them how they are. Not make up your way of how the song go. I'm going to do my own thing. No. Learn the song how it goes first. And then after you learn how it goes, then you can see how you can flip it and do your own thing because now you have context. You have original intent. In terms of that producer or that bass player sat there and figured out what works best for this song to make this song sound like this song need to sound. So they've already worked out all of the stuff because those were professional musicians 9 times out of 10 who played that record. And so they've already went through their catalog and decided on some of the best things. Now, that's not the only stuff that can be played, but they've already sat and went through their catalog and decided what's going to be the best thing to make this song sound like it needs to sound. And after they've done that, they record that and they put it out there. And all you got to do is just copy and paste. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Now, is that saying I don't need to be myself? I don't need to, work on no, that doesn't mean that. If there are tons of gloves that are sold all over the world. Everybody sells gloves, right? Just regular gloves. But if I put my hand in this glove, the glove is going to look a little different on my hand than another person. Like if my son get my gloves, sometimes he does when we're out in the yard doing stuff, he'll grab a pair of my gloves and he'll slide them on, being silly. And his hands look completely different than my gloves. So my point that I'm making there, everybody has a different fingerprint. Even if you learn verbatim what somebody else played, you're still going to have your own fingerprint. Now, I know somebody who make it their business to try to sound like people that they admire, and that's cool. And yeah, you need to work on your own thing, but naturally, you're going to sound like you. You're not going to sound exactly. You're going to sound close, but you're not going to be a replica of somebody else. You have too much stuff. And if you are trying to be a replica, it's only going to go so far until you run out because they're not going to be able to stop being them, and you're not going to be able to stop being you. So at some point, your copying them is going to run out because you can't possibly copy everything they know. You don't have enough information. There's no way of possibly knowing everything this person knows. Oh, I sat and listened to all his records. I learned all this stuff. Well, you know all the stuff that they played on those records, but you don't know all the stuff that they know. So you know a lot of stuff. You know how to sound close to them, but you're not them. You have your own hand. You have your own finger. You have your own fingerprint, and you're going to always sound like you. But if you just take what's there, you don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to the whole bass player thing. All right, so let's read through a few of these comments here. I know I missed a good bit. I don't want to get get too far behind. All right, let me see. So, all right, so I'm gonna start here. Great quote by Miles Monroe. Without vision, there is nothing. Christopher says, without vision, there is nothing, nothing for faith to give substance to. Because of vision, God said, let there be. Yeah, he saw it before it was. Justice says, amen. So true. Preach. So true. I lose my momentum. Yeah, you gotta keep that momentum, man. You have to keep that momentum. Charles, I mean not Charles, but Marcus says, have you read The Dream Giver? It's based on what you're talking about, family, friends, etc., etc. Discourage, man, it's a short but powerful book. I haven't read that one, man. Be sure to, if you have a link, drop that in the comment section. Maybe I'll go look that up. I'll go check that out. But I haven't read that one. Melvin Bell, good morning to you. Sean says, take the discouragement of others and use it for motivation for yourself. That's good. That's good. I see you, Jude. I'm late to the party, but I'm here. That's all right, Cedric. It's all as well. Damon Williams says, just picked up Straight Gospel Jams Volume 2. Come on here. Let's go, Damon. Got you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, a few things let me put a pin right here, lest I forget. All right, so let me put a pin here. I'm doing a conference, lest I forget. I'm doing a conference, women's conference in my hometown of Houston, Mississippi. Y'all like, what they got to do with us? Just listen, hear me out. So we're doing at this conference, we're doing a bass giveaway. I am giving away one of these. I'm giving away one of these, the JM5. I am giving away. But here's how you enter. There's a raffle that I'm doing on my website. And you can simply click on that link that I just dropped. It's $25 entry fee. And so this conference is ministry for women with a purpose, that whole thing. And I have the pleasure of singing and playing and being over the music for this thing, and I'm super happy about that. But again, we're doing this bass giveaway, so many people have already put their bid in for the bass for $25. You have a chance of owning your own JM5, the 5-string. If you wanna do that, I encourage you to use that link. I'll try to put it, if you're watching this in the replay, I'm gonna try to remember to drop this link in the description so that you can grab. And this is on April the 7th, and you have up until April the 6th to put your bid in. You have up to April the 6th to put it in. And it's something else I wanted to mention as well. Oh yeah, shout out to Pig Hog Cables. If y'all haven't checked out Pig Hog, be sure to do that. This is like a dope glow in the dark joint. I've been rocking with Pig Hog Cables for almost nearly 10 years, coming up on 10 years, I think. And I love the cables. The one I'm using is real old and it's solid. I ain't got no problem. The one I'm using, you can see it got the road wear on it, and they're still solid that I use. And I just put me another order in pretty recently. They got these, and they do the XLRs as well. I'm sorry for this commercial break, guys. We just want to make sure I make mention of this. The Hex cables, it's the XLRs, they're called Hex, and they got different colors and all this kind of stuff. And so be sure that you guys do that. And so another thing I wanted to mention, and the reason why I'm doing I blame Damon because Damon made me think of it. Listen, I'm going to let y'all in on a secret. Now, I've been running a sale on my website all weekend long. I've been running a sale. Yesterday was the last day of the sale. But if you don't tell nobody, the prices are still, they haven't been changed just yet. So if you go to the website now, you can get all my gospel, not everything. The gospel stuff is basically what I've been running the flash sale on over the weekend. The gospel stuff, I started at 50% off. We did that all weekend, and yesterday we did 40% off. And just for you guys, because y'all wasn't in on it because I didn't make an announcement about it at the part of the week. So I left it up. I didn't change the prices yet. But today only, any of you guys who are watching me live, you can still access any of my gospel stuff for 40% off on the website right now. So you can get the Straight Gospel 1, Straight Gospel 2, Gospel Quartet. So all the instructionals, that is. Straight Gospel Instructional, Straight Gospel 2 Instructional, quartet instructional, contemporary gospel instructional, shout bump bass chorus, the congregational songs, both 1 and 2. I'll play a little bit of that before I jump off, hopefully. Shout bump 1 and 2. You can get all of those at 40% off right now on the website. And again, there's no code or anything like that. You go straight to the website, jermaine.morgan.net, and you can see how you can access those today, because the prices will change. I said I was going to change them yesterday, but I got to thinking about it. I was like, I did not let the Grooves of Motivation audience know about this sale that was going on. And all of y'all are not a part of my email list. So sign up for my email list. That way you don't miss out when I do stuff like this. And not to mention, there's something else that I'm working on right now, especially for you guys in the gospel arena. I'll just say that because I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet. But there's something I've been working diligently on in the gospel arena that I'm going to be dropping another courses coming soon. Many courses coming soon. So if you haven't signed up, the best thing will probably be to sign up for the Membership Plus. I'm going to just tell you, because there's some stuff coming down the pipe. There's some stuff I'm working on that's coming down the pipe. And if you don't have the current courses, you're going to want to get those. The Membership Plus is like your best option to get just whatever coming down the pipe. As soon as it drops, you got it. It goes into your account. It's something that's going to be added to your account. All right. So Damon, thank you so much for that, man. Damon says the instructionals are fire. I'm going to pin for my own selfish reasons. Damon, you made the board today. The instructionals are fire. I appreciate you, Damon. I appreciate you. So Marcus says that is encouraging to learn 3 to 5 songs a week. Now I understand why it's purpose. Yeah. You got to learn those 3 to 5, because I mean, not to spend too much time on this, but you build like you're building your memory bank for one, your ability to retain songs, and your ability to learn songs quickly. And it's like, it just basically it's ear training. All in a nutshell, it's ear training, because you get to listen and learn this stuff, and you strengthen your ear. Each time you do that, you start to recognize common things in songs. The more you do it, the more stuff starts to stand out to you. And it's like I told I was in a lesson with a student on yesterday. I was in a coaching call rather. So, and I told him, I'm like, don't skip over those hard parts. Like, you know, he was like, I learned certain stuff, but when we get to them hard, crazy licks and stuff, I don't learn that. Learn that. Spend the time, learn that, because all that stuff is going to strengthen your ear. It's going to make you better. It's going to make you stronger. And if you have a second instrument, I know I'm pushing it with y'all, but again, I'm still on topic. You're standing at the door of a giant there, and if you want to maximize your musical potential, y'all seen me playing the guitar before this thing. It's like I play all these instruments in here often because every one of them helped me to be better on the next one. So even if it's a second, whatever, like, man, I barely got the bass. It's all right. Just try. Pick up something and start noodling around with it and see what you come up with, you know, and you just work on it little by little, because the more you add, the more you're expanding how you hear music. If I can hear the guitar, if I can hear the drums, if I can hear the keyboards, I'm expanding. So that I'm facing the giant, because the giant is saying I can only do one thing at a time. But we're going to go in like, I'm going to have a Caleb mentality. I'm going to go in, I'm going to take the giant down, because I believe I can do more than one thing. Maybe I'm not going to do all of them professionally, but who knows? Maybe I will. But I know for sure it's going to help to grow my ears and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, just wanted to make sure I made mention of that for you guys. Melvin Bell wants to know, where can I buy a JM5? Great question, Melvin. Great question. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna hope you out. Of course, it's on the website, on the shop page, but I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'm gonna drop the link in the description so that you can see where you can get that from. Just in case anybody else wants to know, I'm gonna make this easy for you. And I'm gonna try. I promise y'all, I'm gonna try to remember to drop this stuff in the description if you're watching in a replay, because sometimes I forget. I'm sorry. Frederick says, man, so glad I found you. Great presentation. I am from Memphis, but live in North Texas. Memphis. Yeah, man. Memphis is right up the street from my hometown. Houston, Mississippi. So yeah, 2 hours up the street, I guess. But yeah, Frederick, I'm glad you found me too. And if any of you guys are new to this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm here every Tuesday if nothing happens. Generally, I'm here every Tuesday at 11. I'm here at 11 a.m. and I'm posting content. And there's tons of bass lessons and all kind of stuff on this channel. You can find motivation, bass lessons, groove sessions, backing tracks to practice to, a whole bunch of stuff. And as we're moving forward with the channel, you're going to be able to find a whole bunch more on this channel right here. So to all of my current subscribers, man, thank y'all so much. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to hit that bell notification and, so you can be updated when I go live and all those type of things. But again, one of your best things, be sure to join my mailing list, because there's stuff that I do on the website, exclusive deals and all that kind of stuff. Stuff if you so happen to miss it, because sometimes the algorithm doesn't always let you know, or Google or YouTube doesn't always notify you when I go live. And sometimes I can give you the replay or something like that so that you can see it, even if you missed it. All those types of things. And if anybody on my mailing list, y'all know I email all the time. So I keep you up to date with anything that's going on with me for the most part. So if you're not on that, you're probably missing out. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Face the giant or die with your dream. And I know that's a heavy word. That's why die is in red, because I wanted to stand out to you. Don't sit there and die with something God gave you. That's what he gave you. He gave that to you. And nobody else is going to do what you were here to do. So make your mark. Make your mark. Stand, look that giant square in the face, and square up. Square up with the giant, because he got to go. Either he's going to die or you're going to die. You choose. It literally comes down to that. Either the giant is going to die or you're going to die. You're going to kill him. And I'm saying him, speaking, metaphorically speaking, so to speak. But that thing is going to either kill you, and I'm not saying you're going to literally die, but you could if you don't face it. So it's up to you to do something about it. So, all right, as we get ready to go out, I'm going to play a little bit of this. I'm going to church y'all out. I'm going to take y'all up on a high note, like we be doing at the end of funerals and stuff, so we don't leave all sad. We're going to take y'all out on a high note. Let's see here. Got a few songs we're going to play through. And so let me read this before I play, though. Have a question regarding the tablature for the instructionals. Where can I direct a question? What do you mean? So just, I see what you're saying. Send me an email at jermaine@jermainemorgan.net. So, yeah, there is tab and sheet music for all of this stuff. But yeah, send me a that way we can deal with that off of this. But yeah, send me a direct email at Jermaine. Put my email on the Jermaine@jermainemorgan.net, if I can spell my name right. So you can send it there. He says 10 Central. Yeah, 10 Central, 11 Eastern. So yeah, you can send me an email there if you have a question, an inquiry about something personal. If you have questions about my bass coaching and all that stuff, it's on the website. But if you just want to ask some questions before you just go straight to the website, just simply send me something. All right. So let's play through this a little bit. Let me mute this bass. All right, here we go. In the army of the Lord. In the army. In the army of the Lord. Yes, in the army. In the army of the Lord. It's clipping the army. Taking y'all to church on y'all way out. Yes, in the army. In the army. got to get that one again. I forgot about that one. I ain't played it in a minute.
He loved me, died he saved me, buried me, carried my sins far away. Why did he justify? Freed me forever. One day he's coming back, glorious day. Living he loved me, died he saved me, buried me, carried my sins far away. Why did he justify? Freed me forever. One day he's coming back. Glorious day, living he loved me, dying he saved me, buried me, carried my sins far away. Why did he justify? Freed me forever. One day he's coming back. Glorious day. Praise him, come on, praise him, praise him. Get on your feet and praise the Lord. Praise him, yes, praise him. Praise him, clap your hands, boy, let your Holy Ghost come on down. Boy, let your Holy Ghost come on down. Yes. Today is mine. I told Satan that he behind. Today is mine.
What's that one?
Today is mine. I told Satan that he behind. Today is mine. Power, power, wonder-working power. Oh yes, there's power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb.
All right, so that's the I seen some questions. What is that? I went through both version 1 and 2 of the congregational. That's the congregational songs course. 1 and 2. So I go in there and break all of those songs down. If you don't know those songs, basically I teach those songs on that course, and the backing tracks come with that as well. So 8 songs total if you get both of them, but it's 4 per. I did that course several years ago, but there's four songs per course, and I break down each of those songs. So I literally just went through the whole medley of all of those songs. And the cool thing about it, if you get these tracks, you can drop it into your DAW and like play with them, like take, maybe a section of it and just kind of play with it. So like right here, like if I took that little section and looped it, it's at 119. The BPM is 119. I'm just showing you what you can kind of do and just playing with ideas. So yeah, definitely congregational. So yeah.
I told Satan, 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 I told Satan.
So it's like you can play around with the just sections and stuff of the song, and that's what I always encourage, like with any of these backing tracks. And I know it's not a real band, but the idea is to kind of play with it, get comfortable with the song, see variations of things you can do. I mean, you can keep playing through the whole song over and over again, or you can take sections and just play around and see what you come up with. So like if we did, let's see, we can take a random section and loop it. Right there. like you could start just playing around with it and just like looping different sections of it. Again, that's with it in a DAW and just taking a section of that. I'm using Logic Pro, by the way. If you got any DAW that you have, like Studio One, GarageBand, what is the one for PC? You have, well, you can use Studio One will work for PC, Pro Tools, Ableton, anything that you use for your music. I don't know, Adobe Audition. Some people still use that. And so whatever you have, and just drop that in there and loop those tracks. You can, so it's a lot of ways you can manipulate. So there's a lot of benefits, in other words, to having the chorus with the backing tracks and all that kind of stuff. I break down what I'm doing. So anyway, guys, I've been on here long enough, and hopefully this has been valuable to you. I hope I've shared something with you, and hopefully somebody gonna get up and square up with a giant today, whatever that giant is for you, because it's possible, man. Listen, you're talking to somebody, or somebody's talking to you. I've been at this thing for a long time, and my journey has been nothing short of hard. Like I got put in the hard line. Look, like as soon as I came out, like, all right, bro, you go stand over there. Like, wait. Like that line look like it's fine. Like, nah, you go get in the hard line, because you finna have a tough life. And, you know, I know tough is relative given your circumstances and your situation, but from where I'm standing, a lot of it has been hard, but I've had to learn how to persevere and keep it moving, because you don't get anything you won't fight for. Well, let's put it like this. The things you get will not last if you don't fight for them. There are some things that are just freely given to you, but a lot of the things of value that we receive requires a fight. It requires a fight from you, especially if it's something that you're trying to birth. Like even a baby. We got 3. I didn't birth it. My wife did. And it's like, yeah, you birth them. It's a lot of pain for them to get here. And then when they get here, you got to fight for them. You have to fight for your kids. You have to fight for your family. I've been married 15, coming up on, I won't say 16, either like I got to think and do my math. I think it's coming up on 16 years this year that I've been married. And you have to fight. You have to fight for anything something like that's yours. You got to fight for it. You got to be willing to go face that giant, stand up and fight for it. So that's my little 2 cents today. So anyway, I thank you guys for listening to me. I'm not going to keep going on with this. I thank you. And again, if you found value in this, share it with somebody. Let somebody know about it. And tell somebody about this channel if you know it could be helpful for them. And I will see you guys on the next time. Christopher, thank you, man. Matthew 11 and 12. I'll check that out, man. But thank you, man. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm out of here. Peace.